Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Natural Bear, and welcome back to the PS2 collection update thingy-majigs. Yeah, that thing. We've got some games to maybe show. I don't know. As I actually record this, I've only got one to show, so I have no idea how many we're going to show in this video or what the case is going to be, really. We're going to film what we've got, and we'll see what happens when we next get something in. So here's the game, I guess. Look, we talked about this, okay? You've had your chance. You blew it. Not that game, sorry. Yes, it's this one. Silent Hill 3. You probably guessed that this could have been in the pipeline, given that obviously last episode we picked up Origins and what was the other one we picked up? 4. We only had this and Shattered Memories left, and given that Shattered Memories is around the sort of £80 to £100 mark, going to leave that one for now. This one, it's not in great condition, because look, it's slightly ripped up there. It's also down here, it's slightly ripped. If you can, I'll try and show this off, but as you can see, the box art is like got scratches on it almost, and like bumps. I don't know what's going on there. And then on the back, there's a rip in the corner, as you can see, and then it's slightly ripped at the bottom. However, manual's there in decent condition, and it also has the if you take the actual manual out, you can see it has all the other stuff in there, the advertising gumph, if you like. But more importantly, the disc, quite important. And the disc is actually, if you can see that there, it's pretty good. It's just got a couple of like very light surface marks on them, not even scratches really, just like sort of not even fingerprints either, just like, I don't even know what you would call them really, but just slight sort of surface marks really. So the disc is in very good shape. And more importantly, I paid £22 for this, and that's with delivery. So I got a really good deal, to be honest, because this usually goes for around the 30 to 40 quid mark. So I got this for a pretty good price. I left the manual out, that was clever. So I think overall, I'm pretty happy. I would rather the case was in better condition, or the box art, actually, I should say, was in better condition. The case is actually immaculate. Like the cases, if you look at them, no marks on the case or anything like that. No scratches or dents or anything. The case is absolutely fine, and everything inside is fine. It's literally just the box art. But you can pick up box art for a couple of quid sometimes. So I'll probably keep an eye out for a new set of or a new cover essentially, and we can just replace it. So I'm not too worried about it. I think overall we've done pretty well. And it means that we're only missing... Well, we're actually missing 2 games. We're missing Shattered Memories, obviously. We're also missing the original version of Silent Hill 2, which is actually considered a separate release, so we are going to have to pick that up at some point. Obviously, we have the other version of the Director's Cut. That's going to be sold at some point. I can trade that into CEX and get 35 quid for it, so I may as well just do that at some point. Or... if that changes, I can sell it on eBay and get roughly the same as well. So we'll sort that out. But yeah, we need the original version of Silent Hill 2 in the... it was a 2-disc edition, and it was in like a slipcase. It was kind of a weird thing. So we do need that. I did see one, actually, and it was about 20 quid, if I remember rightly. But the case was in really poor condition, and it didn't have the outer sleeve. It was just the inner sleeve, so I didn't really feel comfortable paying that for, like buying this in slightly ripped condition is one thing, because it's a lot easier to just replace some box art, right? Because everything else is really good. The difference between that and, having to replace the outer cardboard sleeve of Silent Hill 2, that's a lot harder to do, so... Yeah, it was just a completely different situation, so I didn't bother in the end. But no, we're happy to get this. And it's a remarkable game. If you've never played Silent Hill 2 or this one, they're unbelievable. The first one is pretty good too. Obviously, is aged pretty poorly for the most part in some aspects, but it's still probably worth playing. And definitely play 2 and 3. They're both unbelievable games if you've never played them. But yeah, I was really happy to pick this up. So yeah, good stuff. No. Ooh, bonus content. Yeah, so I've got actually quite an exciting announcement to make. So a friend showed me this. There's a thing called VGA grading, and what you can basically do is you send off a copy of a game to this company, whoever they are, and they are qualified in some vague way that isn't really understood by humans. They are qualified in some way to tell you that your copy of the game is thumbs up approval. So what they do is they put it in a box for you and then put a sticker on it that has a big number on it. So as an aside here, you've got Pokemon Soul Silver and Heart Gold on the Nintendo DS, factory sealed, sold for £3,000, still charged £3.50 postage, even though he just made £3,000, standard stuff. And if we scroll down here to view the listing, we'll see that there isn't another photo. That's excellent. Thank you, eBay. Appreciate that. Hopefully, if I click on the picture, it will show me, maybe. There we go. So as you can see, yep, 85 and 85 plus, which is apparently different to just 85. Don't know what that means, but yeah, so these people have done that and been able to sell these two Nintendo DS games that would have been probably about £40-30 on release. They've managed to sell them for £3,000 because they're in a different box, and of course, again, £3.49 postage. So that gave me an idea. Why don't I do this? I am just as qualified as these people to tell you whether a game is good quality or not. So I've set up my own grading company. It hasn't got a name yet. We'll think of a name, doesn't really matter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grade games based on my own vague criteria that no human can fully understand. And I've actually already started. I've just graded, actually. This took a lot of work, as you can imagine. But my copy of Mouse Trophy, which isn't actually Mouse Trophy, it has, of course, Midnight Club 2 inside. I've just finished grading it. So I'll let you see the final results. A lot of work went into this, as you can probably tell, but as you can see, there we go. So we've got Mouse Trophy here, and as you can see, I've given it a score of 69, which is the highest score. You can get a bigger number, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's better, because again, my rating scale is completely arbitrary and can't really be fully understood. And as you can see, 69, it means the dog's bollocks. As you can imagine, excellent stuff. Obviously, I've made it clear what the purpose of grading is. I don't want anyone to get any false ideas. This is, in fact, completely about making money from people that are very silly. The dollar signs, figured, get the Yanks involved, make them feel part of it, a bit of fun for them. And then, as you can see, 2 zeros, it looks like. They're actually dog's bollocks. I drew them myself. Kind of a hand... what's the word? A hand-gifted, handcrafted feel to this. This isn't just printed like the stickers of whoever these other people are. This is handwritten personally by myself that I literally did. I was going to say 5 minutes ago. That would, of course, be telling the truth. I need to make this sound more impressive. This took me 5 hours using this very pen and a lot of sweat and hard work. So yeah, and as you can see, it's in a really convenient place and doesn't at all obscure what you're looking at. So if you try and open the case, it's not like it's in the way or anything, And the fact it has Midnight Club 2 inside instead of the actual game on the front, I mean, that's really what makes it the dog's bollocks, as you can imagine. So, yeah, so I'll be getting this off the ground, and there'll be further updates when I do finally register the trademark and we're going to be filthy rich. Well, I'm going to be filthy rich, obviously. No one else, including the person buying, especially not the person buying this, of course. Those people, they could put down a mortgage on a house or, send their kids to a very good university or whatever the case might be. But instead what they're going to do is give me £5,000 for this copy of Mouse Trophy with Midnight Club 2 inside. Because that sticker's very valuable. So there you go. That's an update for you on my latest business venture. Very exciting stuff. Anyway, on with the video. Right. Everything else has kind of come in one go. So we're going to go through a lot here. I'm basically, just to give you an idea, I'm kind of just like surrounded by games at the moment. So yeah, we'll go through these. There's basically 3 lots worth to go through. We'll whiz through these ones quickly. These, I sold some old DVDs I had lying around, some old like WWE DVDs, because I don't really follow wrestling anymore. So So yeah, I sold these DVDs, and just to knock a few quid off, the person I sold them to happened to mention, you know, oh, I know you're collecting PS2 at the moment, I've got a few of these games. So I took these 3 off him in exchange for knocking a few quid off the price, basically. So we'll whiz through these. They're all in really good condition and stuff. But we've got SingStar Anthems, SingStar Party, and SingStar R&B. Let's talk about SingStar briefly. So, I don't even know if this is still... Is this a thing anymore? Does Sony still do SingStar? I have no idea. The PS2 era, I'm not exaggerating about this. In PAL territories, there were approximately, I want to say, around about 70 SingStar games released. Yes, 70, not 17 or 7, 70. Which is just shocking. So, and the problem we're going to have is that a lot of them were only released in certain regions. For example, these ones, so, you know, your generic, more generic ones like, oh, you know, R&B and anthems and whatnot. These were released kind of everywhere, you know, just generic releases, really. But then you've got things like, for example, I'm trying to think of, there's a band called Kent, right? I was very confused when I saw this. I thought at first it was genuinely a SingStar game dedicated to artists from the English county of Kent. I was so confused about why this niche thing existed. I thought maybe that the guy at Sony or London Studio, whatever, that made these games, I thought maybe he was from Kent and just decided, you know, fuck it, boys, let's do this. But no, what it is, there's a band, I believe a Swedish band called Kent, and it was like a compilation of their stuff, I suppose. And so that, I believe, was not sold in the UK because that band is just, they're not a thing really over here. They're, you know, I don't know, I've never heard of them in my life, and as far as I'm aware, they're not a thing. So, you know, if you asked, put it this way, if you asked 10,000 English people what is Kent, is there any, what does Kent mean to you? All of them would say the county, none of them would say the band, right? So the point is, that was only released in like Sweden, I believe, or possibly other Scandinavian countries, but definitely Sweden. There's like a Swiss one, there's a Portuguese one, there's a Spanish one, all for like Spanish, Portuguese, Swiss hits or whatever. There's a German one. You get the idea. So there's a ton of these games, and a lot of them are going to be hard to get hold of, I think. But that's the risk that you take, I suppose. I mean, no one told me I had to try and collect all the PAL PS2 games. This is just my own stupid idea, so never mind. But anyway, we have those. It knocked a few off the collection. It meant I didn't have to actually buy them. I could just, you know, kind of got these without really having to think about it. So it filled up some gaps in the collection. Then we've got bundle number 2, which is small number, but decent quality, I would say. So only one duplicate from this bundle, which is a bonus, which is this. We now have 3 copies of Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup. This is actually a copy that this is not the copy that came in the bundle, because I've kept that copy because it was in better condition than my other copy was. So yeah, this is an old copy that we got in a previous bundle. That this is the one we're going to get rid of, along with the other copy, because there's 3 of them. We're almost catching up to Nightfire now. Oh, actually, we did get rid of one of the Nightfires. We've only got 3 left of that now. Obviously, I'm keeping one of them, so there you go. Anyway, there's Quidditch World Cup. It's obviously a duplicate, which I'll put over to the side. And then here are the games that actually came in the bundle. Some good stuff here. So we've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It is all complete. That's another good thing as well. Decent condition for the most part. There's a couple of these games that are missing manuals, but for the most part, in decent shape. Cow the Kangaroo Round 2. I had never really heard of this before, but it's some sort of mascot platformy thing. Has the manual and everything. I've never heard of this game before, but it's apparently a thing. It was successful enough to get a sequel, so there you go. Not that that took a lot really in the PS2 days, because a lot of these games were quite cheaply made. It's 2004 release, it looks like. Oh, there you go. Transformers the game. I thought for some reason I already had this, but I don't think I do. I will double check that, but I don't think I have this. But anyway, I don't know what this is even. Oh, there's a big dirty Red Cross sticker on the back. 3 guesses where he got this from. I think, yeah, this is related to the first movie, it looks like. Yeah. I mean, it says play beyond the blockbuster movie. Does that mean, therefore, I can't tell. Unfortunately, the sticker's covering up who made it. Is that Traveller's Tales logo right there? I can't even get my thumb near it. There you go. I don't know. Either way, there's that. We've got Micro Machines. These games are always fun. I don't know if this is a good version or not, to be honest. It's just generically called Micro Machines. You can see that, so I don't know what that's about. But yeah, sure, it's fine. We've got Pac-Man World 2 here. No manual on this one, unfortunately, but still, good little game to get, I suppose. It looks like it has all the old Pac-Man games in there as well, which is nice. And finally, we've got this thing. This is actually like relatively valuable. It's probably worth, I would say, 10 to 15 quid. Rayman 10th Anniversary Collection. It comes with Rayman M, Rayman Revolution, which is, I think, the PS2 version of Rayman 2, and Rayman 3. So, a good collection. I mean, Rayman M was like a weird multiplayer spin-off that no one really cared about, but, I mean, Rayman 2 is one of my favourite platformers, so I've never tried the PS2 version before, so we'll give that a go. And then Rayman 3 I've never actually played, but, yeah, it's good stuff. What I don't like is the case design. There's no manual on this either. Well, I don't know if it came with a manual originally. I would assume so, but I don't know how they would have done that exactly. Probably just compiled all three manuals into one. No idea. But as you can see, all the discs are in just like one thing. It's deep. It's not like they're going to fall out. But look, you get quite a few scratches because they're just stacked on top of each other. It's really dumb design. I think this is Rayman 3's disc. Yes, it is. It's not very clear, unfortunately. This is Rayman M's disc here. As you can see, again, scratched up, and then Rayman Revolution here on the bottom. We'll have a look at that. Yeah, that's also kind of scratched. See, I don't like this case design at all. I think it's really dumb, but I'm sure they all play fine. But that's good. I got to tick basically 3 games off my list here, so I was pretty happy with that. So yeah, that was the bundle. These and obviously the Quidditch game. So, you know, I didn't pay that much for it either. I think it did pretty well. This really made it worth it. This and, I mean, Pac-Man World's not too bad either. But none of these games are really, you know, they've all got some value. There's no like random cheap stuff here really. So I was quite happy with that. Then we've got the third bundle, which is basically everything else. It was a big bundle, which cost me about 30 quid in the end. So considering I paid 30 quid, I did really well, I think. We've got these first, these disc-only games. I'll try and get these out quickly. There we go. Through the power of editing and jump cuts, we succeeded. So we've got the Simpsons game. These are all kind of scratched because they're disc-only. You kind of expect that. Yeah, we've got the Simpsons game. We've got Jack X, which is like the racing spin-off they did. Kind of a weird thing. XG3 Extreme G Racing, which is a bit like Wipeout, actually. It's not a bad little version of that kind of thing. And then Crazy Taxi. So good stuff. Disc only, I don't usually count it as owning because, you know, I want everything in cases. Ideally with manuals, but obviously that's not really a massive deal. But definitely with the case and the original artwork, that's what I've decided on as a criteria. So I probably won't count these as towards the collection, but they're decent little backups, I suppose. And if I do get hold of maybe, you never know, at some point I might randomly get hold of a case that's not got the disc, or, you know, the disc might get mashed up, in which case I have a backup. So, you know, there's a few reasons to keep hold. So, you know, I'm not going to turn it down anyway. I just saw this as kind of a bonus, really. I didn't really count it. The collection, the bundle, also came with these 4 things. They're all like cheat discs. I don't know if you remember these, but basically they would you put them in. It was like Game Shark and stuff like that, and, you know, Action Replay, which is what this is. It's like a sampler. These were quite a big thing before the internet sort of took over. That combined with you know, I think the PS3 and stuff basically stopped supporting this kind of thing. I'm pretty sure there was some sort of issue with it where they couldn't do it anymore or something like that. That combined with like cheats in general just kind of dying out as a thing. And yeah, you don't really get these anymore, but yeah. They're the curiosities, you know. So you got that one. There's a Star Wars like special one here. Yeah. There's this one, which is actually just a flat-out Exploder one, which I think has got... I don't know when this is from, you see, so... Is there a date on the back, or... No, unfortunately not. So I don't know what games will actually be on here. I mean, it's mentioning, like, Gran Turismo 3 and Silent Hill 2, so I'm guessing that there's not that many games on here. It probably goes back to maybe 2001, 2002, so basically all the early stuff, and that's about it, but... You know, it's a curiosity, isn't it? I'm not. I don't. These aren't counted towards the collection. Even even this Exploder one, they're not on the spreadsheet. So these are just bonuses really. And then there's one here that's another sampler. It's got GTA on it and stuff like that. This one's obviously a bit more up to date. It looks like 2004 because these are all 2004 releases, I believe. But yeah, so they were interesting, I suppose. Finally, before we get to the main stuff, these are all duplicates I got from this bundle. So we'll whiz through these. We've got Rampage Total Destruction, The Getaway, which was actually, I had this in the original set. This was part of the original collection. So, and actually my copy is beat up, whereas this one's in nice shape. So even though this is platinum and my version's black label, this will be replacing that version. We've got Medal of Honor Frontline. With these, Medal of Honor Frontline and games that basically CEX give you no money for, they literally give you a penny for them, I'm just going to keep them and recycle the cases, I think, because I get games with kind of battered cases all the time, so I may as well just do that. Honestly, the disc is almost worthless, because this game sold so many copies, and you can get it for 50p from CEX, there's no point. I'd feel bad doing it if the game was valuable, but this game isn't. Even though it's a fantastic game, everyone owns a copy of it. They had a PS2, everyone bought this game, so I don't feel too bad about doing that. Because otherwise, it's pointless me sending it off to CEX to get a penny. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I'm looking at it. When I can use the case, may as well do that. Star Wars Battlefront 2, I think I've got 3 copies of this now, which I don't mind because it's worth a bit more than usual. Lemmings, pretty good. And then Freedom Fighters, this is another 50p game. However, I think with this one I will actually send it in because I absolutely love this game and it breaks my heart to just get rid of the disc. I'd feel too bad about it. I love Medal of Honor Frontline, but Freedom Fighters is a whole different kind of love. So yeah, that's what we're going to do with them, I think. But yeah, they're all the duplicates anyway, so we've got them out of the way. And finally now we're going to start actually going through them all. So we'll bring in batch number 1 here. So we'll start with Tomb Raider Legend. I thought I had this, but apparently not, according to my spreadsheet. So I think I had it at one point and must have got rid of it. But yeah, I've got it back now. I quite like this game. It was the first Crystal Dynamics Tomb Raider. So it lacks some features, I would say. It's a bit short and kind of easy and, all that kind of thing. But they did something a bit different with the series. It rebooted it successfully after the disaster that was Angel of Darkness. So pretty good stuff. I can't complain. Also had the best Lara voice. The first trilogy they did had the best Lara voice actor for my money, which was what was her name? Keely Hawes, I think her name is. She's like a British actress. Probably most well known for, I think it was Life on Mars, I believe it was called. But yeah, she did the voice for Lara for this, Anniversary, and Underworld. So best Lara voice actor by far. But yeah, I just thought I'd bring that up. World War Zero. This is an interesting concept. Basically, the idea is, I think it's set in like the 50s or the 60s. Yeah, it's set in March 1964, and the First World War is still going on. And they come up with an idea where, like, the Russian Revolution happened, but then the Bolsheviks were, basically annihilated, and they were trying to build like a Russo-Mongolian empire and stuff like that, and a coalition tried to stop it. So essentially, it's like if World War Zero just kept happening and World War Two never happened, and then the Cold War wasn't a Cold War, it was just part of World War One, and it was very much a hot war, if you like. So it's kind of a cool idea. I don't know if the game's any good. I have absolutely no idea. I think I played a demo of it years ago, but I remember nothing about it. But yeah, cool idea. So I might give that a try. Sounds pretty interesting. Time Splitters. I have never played the first Time Splitters, believe it or not. Time Splitters 2 is one of my favourite games ever. Yo, Adrian. Yeah, Time Splitters 2 is one of my favourite games ever. And I love Future Perfect, but I never played the first one. I've heard that the single player is not really much of a thing because this was a... Sorry, I've just read the box quote on the back. That's the stupidest thing I've ever read. For the one specific reason. This was a PS2 launch title. And so it was kind of not rushed, but the single player had to be kind of sacrificed to a degree. And so they focused more on the multiplayer. But that box quote, finally, the game worth buying a PlayStation 2 for. It was a fucking launch title. Like, what? That's like, what? That doesn't make any sense. That's like, I don't know, like a new car coming out, and like the day it comes out, someone making a review and being like, oh, finally, the price is low enough to buy this. It's like, what do you mean finally? It's just come out. That is the price. Like, what are you talking about? They didn't give it a day. Also, I would like to point out, this isn't even the best launch title. Tekken Tag Tournament was a launch title. That game is absolutely fantastic. That was the best launch title. This is good from what I've heard, if you want to, especially multiplayer-wise, you know, and it's going to have the same systems as Time Splitters 2 and all that kind of thing. But, what? Sorry, that's absolutely blown my mind. Rocky, pretty good little boxing game, actually. I'm a big fan of the Rocky movies, so, and this game, it was clearly made by people who also loved the movies. It's a big love letter to them. As you can probably tell from the back, it's got all the likenesses of the actors and stuff, and you know they do a really good job with like that's the ring from Rocky 3 with the bull on the bottom from the second fight, I believe. So they get all that bang on, and yeah, it's really good. Doesn't have the same voice actors, unfortunately, so Sylvester Stallone doesn't really sound much like Sylvester Stallone. The best one is they got an actor to play Mickey, but he sounds nothing like Burgess Meredith. It's quite embarrassing. But other than that, it's a pretty good game. So, yeah. If you're a Rocky fan, look into that one. And Rocky Legends, the sequel, is also pretty good, although I wouldn't say it's quite as good as the first one. We've got The Matrix Path of Neo. This was the kind of sequel to Enter the Matrix, which was obviously a complete fucking disaster. This game is much less of a disaster. They learnt some lessons, but it's still not fantastic, I have to say. Mostly because the control scheme is bizarre and you have to hold it with like 17 pairs of hands to do it properly, but never mind. Batman Begins, I have no idea if this game's any good or not. It's, in a weird sort of way, from what I've heard, it's kind of a precursor to the Arkham games because they try and do a similar kind of thing. Like, for example, in the Arkham games, when you go into detective mode, you can see people's fear levels. You can also see that in this game, and it is a mechanic that you can scare enemies. But from what I can gather, it doesn't really make any difference. It's just kind of a cool thing you can do, which I guess is fine. But, yeah, some people compared it to Splinter Cell, I believe, as well. There's also some driving sections where you get to control the Batmobile, so it might be alright. It's by Eurocom, who were a studio that made tons of movie tie-ins and stuff like that. They're probably most famous for a lot of the James Bond games. Some really good ones too, Nightfire, N64 version of World Is Not Enough, that kind of thing. So they were decent for the most part. Their hit rate was pretty good, I would say, for the Bond stuff. So this might be quite good. I honestly have no idea. Right. We have this stack and then another slightly bigger stack. So we best get moving, hadn't we? So we've got SmackDown vs. Raw 2009. I haven't played the PS2 version, so I have no idea what it's like. Oh. It's also apparently in French. I did not notice that before. It's not a big deal. It just threw me off a little bit. Yeah, so we have French SmackDown vs. Raw 2009. Le Merde or something. Conflict Desert Storm. All complete. Never played... Well, the only Conflict game I played was Global Storm, I think, which was pretty good if I remember rightly. So I imagine this is alright as well. Conflict Vietnam. Yeah. Same series, you probably figured that one out. Again, see previous entry for my opinions. Devil May Cry 3, we have the special edition, but not the original Devil May Cry 3. So that's good. So we have all the Devil May Cry games now, that's nice. Little milestone we can tick off. Oh, what the hell's this? Oh my god, there's a Monster Hunter demo in here. Wow, that's cool. I honestly didn't know. That's not even advertised, is it? Hang on a minute. Did they even advertise that on the back? Okay, they do a little bit. Online enabled Monster Hunter demo. Wow, okay, that's cool. I did not know that. I have never actually played any Monster Hunter game. I've been meaning to try World out, but I just haven't made the jump because it goes on sale and I look at it and think, oh, I should buy that. And then I just think, nah. So, but yeah, we'll give it a try at some point. I bought a Nintendo Switch the other week, so I might get Rise on the Switch and try that one out. But anyway, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. But anyway, Devil May Cry 3. Everyone knows about this game. It's fucking great and you should play it. Although the special edition is probably better because you can play as like Virgil. It has a few more features, but they're both just as good. Get the HD version. It's really good. That's also on the Switch, coincidentally. Headhunter Redemption. This is the sequel to Headhunter. You probably figured that one out. Also, in case you didn't catch it the first time, they do very explicitly make that clear on the back of the box, so that's nice. These games were kind of like a cross between... I don't know, like Metal Gear Solid and Splinter Cell, sort of, only not quite as stealth focused, I don't believe. And it had the first game had these like motorcycle driving sections. I don't know if this one did, but yeah, the first one was quite a successful game on the Dreamcast, but I don't think this one did quite as well because we didn't see anything else from the series after that. But yeah, I don't know if I played this all before or not. I may have done at some point. We got Hot Wheels World Race, nice, with a loose disc, cool. Let me just check that's not been horribly damaged. No, it looks fine to me. Oh, that's why. Okay, so yeah, the case is broken. Brilliant. Well, Medal of Honor Frontline. Where are you, pal? It's your time to shine. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. So, as we were literally saying earlier, this is why you keep the cases, because you get things like this sometimes. So we'll be doing that later. I'll keep them together so I remember to do it. But we'll be swapping those cases around. Hot Wheels. Is that Insurrection? Does that say? No, Interactive. Yeah, don't try and read things from a distance. I'm reading it through like the viewfinder of a camera that's on a phone, so it's not exactly the most. Anyway, Stunt Track Challenge is my point. Yeah, that's complete. These Hot Wheels games are actually worth a few quid each, so you know that added some value. There's a weird skull thing there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if these games are any good or not. Oh, it's by Climax. See, they actually did make some racing games, so this might be all right. I don't know. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. I think there were a couple of these games actually. It was like one of the sort of B tier. Wait, EA published this. I beg your pardon. I had no idea that EA published this game. That's interesting. Well, anyway, I was going to say this is one of like the B tier sort of mascot platformers. It was a rung below your Ratchet and Clanks and your Jack and Daxters and probably your Sly Coopers as well. This was kind of like on the B tier below that, but I've heard it's actually pretty good. You know, and I quite like the character design as well. As far as mascot platformers go, you know, it looks maybe a bit too like Crash Bandicoot, but the fact is kind of like they've gone for an Australian thing. I can get behind that. So, right, we have the final stack. I'm going to have to move some things around here and try not to cause a disaster to happen, which is easier said than done. Right, crisis averted. Also, Steve McQueen. Yeah, The Great Escape. How bizarre that they made a game of The Great Escape. This came out in like 2003 as well. Like the movie, came out in what 1962, something like that. Yeah, bizarre. I have no idea if this game's any good or not. Absolutely no idea. But just a bizarre choice for a movie tie-in. They did this, didn't they? They had quite a few sort of movie tie-ins that were for things that were really old, like The Warriors, that cult movie from 1979 getting a video game adaptation by Rockstar, no less, in 2005. Don't know what happened there. I can only assume the Hauser brothers just loved the film. I mean, it is a good film, so what can I say? But bizarre. Great game, though, that one was. I have no idea if this one's any good. It's probably not as good as The Warriors, I will say that. But, yeah, The Great Escape. Bizarre. It's a bit strange that this even exists, but there you go. We've got Brothers in Arms Earned in Blood. I don't think this has a manual because it feels quite light. Oh, no, it does. It's just a very light manual. Okay. Well, this is Brothers in Arms anyway. I seem to remember this mission was decent. Wait, did I just say mission? That's because I read the word mission on the back and it threw me off. I seem to remember this game was decent, is what I meant to say. I don't know if it's... I feel like the first game was slightly better. And this one also came out less than a year later, so there's barely any difference. It's more of a mission pack, to be honest, but, you know, what can you say? We got... This is a weird sort of game. Pilot Down Behind Enemy Lines. This is a stealth game where survival is quite a big thing. So you have to... You have like a stamina meter that goes down when you get cold and things like that. So you have to make sure that you're finding like fires and stuff like that and lighting them regularly so you can heat yourself up. And I think you have to find food and drink as well, if I remember rightly. Kind of an interesting idea. It's very janky, but it's a cool idea. So maybe give that one a shot. I think you can pick this up for like 50p from CEX. So if you do see it, give it a chance, because if you can overlook some sort of mid-2000s kind of budget game jank, then I think you might find some enjoyment there if you're willing to give like kind of an interesting concept a go. So We have SpongeBob SquarePants the movie, all complete. I don't know what movie this is. What movie is this referring to? I have absolutely no idea. I know basically nothing about SpongeBob, I'll be honest. I know a few of the memes and that's about it. But yeah, is this game good? Probably, probably not. I have no idea. Let's see. SpongeBob lights camera pants. They replaced the word action with pants. Do you see what they did there? Yeah, I don't know what this is. Is this like a... I was going to say, is this a kart racer, but it isn't, I don't think. It's just, it's got a... I think it's like a mini-game collection is my guess, but I have absolutely no idea. Watch SpongeBob every day on Nicktoons TV. That's a subtle advert. Well done, lads. Yeah, it's all in there and everything. It's actually in good condition. That's the thing, most of these games are in really good condition, which was an attraction, let's just say. This was interesting. So I saw this in the advert, and it was just stacked like that. So I assumed, oh, okay, it's probably an NTSC version, but it's actually not. Even though it looks like it, it is the PAL disc inside, as you can see. It's just obviously someone didn't have a case for it, so they just printed out the box art and they printed out the NTSC box art. So there you go, we've got Juiced. No idea if this game's any good or not. Absolutely no idea. It got a sequel, so it must have at least sold okay, but I don't know if that makes the game good or not. Who knows? Commando Strike Force here. This is actually a spin-off from the Commando series, as in the the PC strategy game series, which is a notoriously difficult series of games, let's just say. This is not really that difficult, it's just like a random thing. I do seem to remember, though, that the voice acting cast is really good. It has some actual like names in it. I believe Sean Pertwee is in it, among some other names. I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but yeah, look up the cast list. I think it's this game anyway. I could be horribly wrong and just giving you bad information, but yeah, look up the cast list and you'll see there's some names there you'll probably recognise, especially if you're from the UK. I'm seeing Batman Begins here. I don't know if that means I have 2 copies of this, or if this is the same copy that I showed you earlier. I honestly can't remember. Let me see if I can have a gander. So I don't see it in that pile. And I don't see it in that pile. I think this is the same copy that's got mixed up, so we'll move on. Siphon Filter, the Omega Strain. These Siphon Filter games on PS2 are like kind of valuable-ish. Not massively so, obviously, but they're worth a few quid. So I don't necessarily think this one is, because this was kind of the weird one where you don't actually play as Gabe Logan. But yeah, the series kind of lost its luster really on the PS2 in terms of being a kind of a big series. Because on the PS1 it was quite a big deal for a while there, but this one not so much. But I don't know if it's any good or not. What I will say is the 2 games that came after this that were both on the PSP, Logan Shadow and Dark Mirror, I think they were called, they are excellent games. And on the PSP especially, incredibly technically impressive. And the PS2 ports are also solid, even though you can kind of tell it was originally a PSP game because of the textures and stuff. But so if you can pick those games up, definitely do so. They're very good. I have no idea if this one's any good or not, the Omega Strain. I honestly don't know. But I used to quite like Siphon Filter back in the day, so we'll give that a try. We've got Medal of Honor Rising Sun. Just like Frontline, this is literally valued at 50p. So, but I don't have this game, so that's fine. The first time round, it's not a problem, is it? So it fills a gap. I don't think I've... Okay, 2 things are springing to mind. Firstly, I don't think I've ever played this game before, but then I just thought maybe I do already have this. I'll have to double check that. So this may or may not be a duplicate, now I think about it. I honestly don't know. With these games, you find these so often in bundles because everyone in the world bought a copy that, you end up with bundles without really meaning to have them. So I'll have to double check on that. And finally, we have And One Street Ball. If I knew this was the last game, I would have ended on something a bit more impressive, but never mind. It's all complete and everything. I don't really know what's And One. Is that some sort of... I seem to remember this was like a... Was it a clothing brand or something? Or... I don't really know. Or was it like a... I don't know what it was. It was a thing, and Ubisoft decided to license that thing and then make a video game, because that's how that works. Yeah, I don't know if there's any good or not. Couldn't tell you. Anyway, that's it. We've finally got through everything, I think. I'm having a quick scan around to see if I can see anything else. I don't believe there's anything more. I'm just double checking to see if there's... Yeah, so that Batman Begins is definitely the same copy I showed you earlier. Then I just showed it you twice because I'm shit at this. Yeah, so that's it really. My oh my. I think I don't believe I have anything else in the pipeline, so I don't know how long it's going to be until we get another one of these videos. We'll just see. But yeah, I think I did quite well really. Like as I say, the SingStar games, they were basically free. You know, knocked a couple of quid off something I was going to sell anyway, so it really makes no difference to me one way or the other. And then, you know, this bundle here that dropped, brilliant. Yeah, this bundle was pretty good. I was happy with that, as I struggled to pick them up. That went really well. Yeah, I did quite well with that bundle, I think, given what was in it. And then the rest of this stuff, to pay basically £33, including delivery, that is, and everything included, to get, you know, all this lot. And there's some good games in there too, you know. There's stuff like Devil May Cry 3, and the Siphon Filter there is decent, and what was the other thing that we got? There was something else that was relatively valuable in here too. You know, the point is, we did quite well, I think, and they're all in good condition too, which is another big bonus. And I mean, even the disc-only stuff, like, you know, the Simpsons game is worth a little bit, so, you know. Oh, hang on. Oh, there was another Batman Begins. Wait, wait a minute. I've just seen it. How did I not see that before? There we go. Yeah, so there is 2 copies of Batman Begins. Okay, so this is a new copy then. Let me just have a look inside. God, we really are shit at this, aren't we? There we go. There's Batman Begins. So if you're a fan of Batman Begins, the video game specifically, you've been treated today. So there we go. I don't know which one's better, but like quality-wise, in terms of which copy is better condition, I have no idea. They're both about the same, to be honest. But yeah, so there was a duplicate in there. There you go. Anyway, God, we need to work on these videos and make them more coherent. Right, I've also noticed something else odd out the corner of my eye. I promise this is the last thing and then I'm going to go. That says 15+. I didn't even know that was a PEGI rating. I thought it was 16. Like, for example, Omega Strain here, which you can just see at the top of the screen there, that's a 16. So why... Also that, Commando Strike Force, also a 16. So why is this one a 15? That's really bizarre. Did PEGI change their rating or something? Because this came out... This was one of the first games to have a PEGI rating, I think, because it came out the same year, like 2003. Before that, it was the old age rating, which I probably don't have an example of to hand. Oh, I do, actually. Conflict Desert Storm here. It used this, which was the EL-SPA. And that was 15, so maybe PEGI originally had the same scale but then changed it, and this is one of the games that kind of was already given a 15. I don't know. I find that kind of thing interesting just because it's such a weird anomaly. But anyway, we're going to go now because we've been here for too long. This is a very long video. I do apologise, but there's a lot to cover. Yeah, we'll be back next time. We do have a doozy coming in the mail. I can't even begin to describe what it is, so we'll just wait for that one. So the next video, make sure you tune in because we've got a funny one coming in. Put it that way. Yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll be back next time with some more absolute carnage like this video was. So how can I end it? I don't have my copy of Mouse Trophy to hand, unfortunately. So let's just go for a dual Christian Bale Batman special there. Imagine Batman, but staring intensely at some business cards. There you go. Anyway, bye.